Lapo had created this piece. It's called Paper Child. It's a beautiful 30-second animation, and it's basically an animation of a little boy who he's drawing a picture of himself, and he rips it in half, and it tears him apart at the same time, because the violence is not external, it's very internal.
Right.
So Matthew had seen this piece, and he reached out to Lapo to see if he could use it. Then they became, you know, friends, and then Matthew decided he wanted to do a larger piece about domestic violence and what's going on in this whole transitional phase when women are trying to escape the violence and rebuild their lives. So he called Lapo, and then of course I had done a project with Lapo before, so Lapo called me. So then here we are, the three of us together, figuring out how we're going to articulate this really complex and challenging problem for women and men.
There are think about only exclusively women. Men and women.
There are men who are victims of domestic violence.
Correct.
As they try to escape it, because you basically have to many times give up your entire life.
Right.
You know, you can't live in the neighborhood you lived in before. Your kids can no longer go to the same school. If your abuser knows, you know, where you work, of course, you may have to change jobs. This is really an upheaval in the lives of these families. And it's a really beautiful thing that they do at Serenity House, giving them a transitional space. It's a Tier 2 shelter.
Yes.
The shelter system in New York runs in tiers. The first thing, of course, is an emergency shelter. It's like an immediacy placement. But then if you need more time than that, which most people do, they have a few Tier 2 shelters that you can go to, and they give you like 6 months to try to regain your life. But when you think about it, if you think about this year, how fast 6 months goes by, it's really not a lot of time. But at least it's something. It's a safe place where they can go and know that there's going to be help. They've got an entire staff. They've got a daycare there for the children. They've got people to help them find housing. They've got people to help them look for jobs. They've got people to help them with, you know, if they're ESL, you know, and their English is not their first language. If they're, you know, new Americans or new to the country, they've got an entire system there that's designed to help them be able to regain their stability and their identity.
Beautiful, beautiful. When we're ready at the control room, we have Starman. Let me know when you're ready to pull the trigger, Starman, because I am ready. And I can't wait. I want to show 3 clips. We're going to show 3 different clips of the documentary,
and this is a rough cut, so.
It's a rough cut, but we're having fun
forgive
here.
The cut.
No, there's no apologies. We're having fun here. Rebecca Centeno on camera. Thank you very much for helping. And Angelico in sound. So you guys let me know when you're ready. Are we ready? Not yet? I'm not going to kill any time. If you guys are not ready, I keep talking.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I need to talk with you now about the domestic violence.
I don't know.
Okay. Do you feel comfortable talking with me about that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to tell me your story?
I just cut them all together so you can just let it roll.
Okay, we have the second clip coming. We showed the first one, wait, we jump to the second one.
Porque no van a entender, oh, pero en eso ese es un lugar feo, porque todo el mundo piensa que es un lugar feo. Yo también antes de salir de allá duré 2 meses porque yo era la que estaba pensando si salía o no.
We went to a place, and I was looking when we went in. I didn't even know it was a building because it's different. We went there and they gave me a key. They said, okay, that's your apartment key. And I was like, apartment, are they kidding me? I opened the door. It's a big studio with a refrigerator. You have your own kitchen where you can cook, and the beds for the kids. And my daughter had for the first time, she has a crib. Is it a shelter, or am I dreaming?
This is an apartment for a parent and 2 children. Her children, or his children, will be on the beds, in the bunk beds. And we would normally provide them with blankets, bed sheets, pillows, pillowcases. If the parent has a child, there's a crib available for the child. And this crib can be kept next to the parent. You have the refrigerator. We'll make sure the refrigerators are clean, they're working, make sure the stove is working, make sure there's...
I think women are ashamed. They don't want to tell their families, their neighbors. They don't want to tell anybody at work. They don't want to go to a police station, and I think they're ashamed. This is somebody you love.
And do you want to talk about?
Thank you very much in the control room. So we have 3 rough clips right there, but what the hell? What the hell?
It's really important to note that these women allowed us to come into their lives during this really difficult transitional period for them. We were embedded at Serenity House in this shelter with them for 4 months, and there were a number of women that we followed.
How willing they were to open up?
It's interesting. At first, they were, actually, it varied. Some were they were like, I'm here now, I've gotten free from that situation, I want to be in a better place, and part of my healing is going to be to say out loud, these are the things that have happened to me, and I want other women to know that you're not alone, and I'm going to share my story so that you don't have to feel alone. Then there were others that we would go through the interviews with them, and we call the day after to see how are you feeling, and they would say, it was really traumatic for me to talk about it, and I don't really know if I still want to share my stories, and we had to talk them through, how valuable this voice is, and not only the women, but the people who run Serenity House, letting us in as they help them through the transition. Matthew Okabiyi and his entire staff are just amazing in just letting us in, because I can tell you, we went to a lot of the city organizations to try to have conversations with them about domestic violence, have conversations with the Housing Authority, and they were really not willing to chit-chat with us.
Incredible.
But
it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me.
It was interesting on the on the surface level, like you would meet somebody and they would say, sure, call my office and we'll set something up.
And then you call them and they don't answer the phone, or they say call back.
Well, you get the email back that says, the official statement is we're not allowed to talk to documentary filmmakers.
Why are you so afraid? What are you afraid of?
I think there's a lot of people out there who are calling themselves documentary filmmakers who are not actually making documentaries. They really have a very specific point that they're trying to make, and they're using this format to try to seem, because the documentaries are supposed to be sort of balanced. It's supposed to be open. It's supposed to be exploratory.
Right.
It's supposed to develop into, like this project, we were supposed to be finished with it a few months ago, but it's taken longer than we had thought because it takes on a life of its own.
Right.
And we had to allow the project to take the time to grow and develop into what it needed to be right. whole and complete. But there are some people who go in with a script for the documentary. They know exactly what they're going to get, who's going to say it, when they're going to say it, and I think people are afraid of, words can be twisted, things can be manipulated, and I think people are afraid that maybe we're here to sort of do some sort of expose on the system. But really, what we are here to say is the system is here to help. It is a viable system. It's not perfect, but it is a viable system, and you do not have to stay in a domestic violence situation. Anything is better than staying in a domestic violence situation if you're in a domestic violence situation. But if you want to get out, you don't have to be afraid that you're going to go to some, roach-infested rat motel where there are, derelicts roaming about. There are places that are really nice, and they're designed for you and your family, and you can come and have some safety and a good night's sleep and some peace of mind. Mm-hmm. It was amazing to hear the children talk about, we meet some of the children in the documentary, and they talk about finally being able to sleep because
incredible, yeah.
They couldn't
they
sleep
were
in
afraid.
their situation.
They couldn't sleep at night. Let's change gears. We have 10 minutes to go, and you see, when you got 28 minutes, Kiara, you have to mix it up.
Yes.
So I want to get to know you better.
Sure.
I like your teeth.
Oh, thank you.
Perfect teeth. You had braces when you were little. What do you do? Every time that I see somebody with perfect teeth, I